Okay, now that we have the decal set up, what I'm going to do is actually go in and turn that off, because we want our original textures on everything to be the things that we're painting on. And just to be clear, you're actually painting under the lighting in the engine. Go to your projection camera, and by default, it's telling me that it's showing me a lit version, you can see right up here, of my scene, but I don't want that. I actually want to go into unlit, and that's going to show me just the texture that I'm painting on. I'm going to go over here and turn off my other decals, because that's what we're recreating. So this is my raw, unpainted texture. I've got to go turn off my... So I'm actually going to give this a little bit of space, because we're just going to do a high resolution screen grab. So the next thing you do is go into these little hamburger on the top left of your screen, and you do high resolution screenshot. And depending on how much video RAM, this one won't let me do more than like 2.5. And I'm going to capture that. And for reference, I'm going to go back into lit. I'm going to capture that one. And then I'm going to go to lighting only, and I'm going to capture that one. So now I have my base screen grabs that I'll need to start painting. So now that I have all of my screen grabs in Photoshop, the first thing I want to do is change the size of those images, because we want it to be in powers of 2, and we want to make sure that they're square. The other thing is I need a little bit more resolution, so I'm going to make these 4096 and make sure they're all 4096. You can also make them 8K if you're doing something that's really detailed. The next thing is I'm going to take my lighting pass, paste that onto my texture, and then I'm going to keep this as reference for my color. And I don't need these anymore. Oops, yeah I do. Let's make a duplicate. I just need to adjust something so that our lighting is pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact, but we just want to be able to turn a layer on and off and take a look. So that's your reference layer. This is your light layer. I'm going to turn that off. So what I'm going to do is try and match them as close as I can. So with my light, I'm going to turn this to hard light. No, linear light. You can see it's still a little bit bright, so I'm going to adjust the curves. And get pretty close. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. It's just so that you can see some of the details while you're painting, because if this is off, you can see it looks pretty flat and you don't quite know where things are. Whereas when it's back on, you're like, okay, I know where that door and the cracks are and stuff like that. So now that we have that set up, we're going to make a new group called Paint. It's better just to have a group, because ultimately you're going to want to pull the transparency off of it. And usually it's a good idea just to start, make a new actual layer called Paint, just to make sure that something didn't get moved and that everything's working. I like to go in and just do like a quick test to make sure that everything's lining up. Make it kind of a bright color. So I've got the edge of my door here. And some bricks. And maybe the edge of this building here. Again, it's just a good idea to just go back and test. So I'm going to turn off the light layer. I'm going to save a copy into my project. If you don't know where your project is, you can go grab it really quick. Go to your Show and Explorer. Then I'm going to go grab this path, because that's the path to where I'm putting all my art. Go back to Photoshop. Paste that in there. And I'm going to put this in projection test. And you can just save a JPEG. It's fine. We'll call this projection test 2 or 3. I'd suggest using underscores. Unreal technically can use spaces now, but sometimes it's weird. And then we'll make sure that this is our color pass. Now, what we need to do is extract our, especially if you have multiple layers down here, if you're using different textures and, you know, laying things in, it's good just to keep it under the paint. So what I do is duplicate that, hit Control E, that collapses it, and then make a new layer. This will all be black. And then if you hold down Control and click my paint layer, it's going to automatically load that selection, and I'm going to hit Shift F5 for white. Now we have an alpha channel. So that's where everything that's black is transparent, everything that's white is actually showing up as paint. So now I can save a copy of that. And instead of projection test color, we're going to save this as alpha. So an alpha channel is just black and white. It tells what something is transparent or opaque. And in the next video, I will show you how to set that up in Unreal Engine.